All right. And we're live. Welcome back, y'all. It's that time again, every Thursday or whenever you watch it or listen to it, you know what I'm saying? It's the Pop Topics crew featuring me, Radical Rail, you know what I'm saying? Shit talker extraordinaire, you know, movie buff, all that good shit, And my man to the left of me, the one, the super producer, my man Miles.
What's
Say what's
going
up,
on,
Miles.
everybody? We back. We back.
What's up? That's what's up. So, we took last week off because of the holiday, so that's good and bad. It's good. It's good. We need a little break. My man Chef Boyardee over here cooked Thanksgiving dinner. So how was that? How was the experience, man?
Oh man, I almost burnt the house. No kidding, man. Making the yams was good. I made a ham as well, so it was good, man. Food was delicious, man. It was delicious. How was your food?
It was good. Eh, how can I put it? Certain people shouldn't make certain dishes, but I
Yeah,
ain't want to be rude. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I understand that. I went over to my friend's house that night, and they had more food than what we had because there's only three of
okay,
us here,
yeah,
and I stayed away from a couple of food items over there. So
I understand, bro. I understand. It's like, all right. I mean, you said you want to make this dish. I mean, you could make it tasty, but
tasty, yeah.
but
Yeah,
I'm gonna
some
be
people don't know how
nice.
to. They be acting like they know how to cook, and they don't know how to do a goddamn thing except
Yeah,
press the buttons on the microwave.
you know, call them heater uppers. They like to heat it up.
Hmm.
But outside of that, you've been doing good. You know, nothing
Oh
keeping.
man, I've been good, 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 man. I'm just trying to stay busy, and I uploaded my new album, so the new album will drop next week.
Okay.
So I feel good, man.
All right. All right. Yeah, y'all gonna hear a little bit of it on here. We gonna play a few songs for y'all. To give y'all a little taste of it. Hit 'em with the dab. Bow. Just a little taste of it. Let's just see what they lift a
Got hit him
little
with the
bit
Emerald
better.
Lagasse.
Yeah. But yeah, man, let's get to the meat and the potatoes. All right, let's start with your man LeBron, man. What you think? I mean, I know you know about the comments he made after the other game, talking about the reporters asked him about Kyrie, but they asked him about Jerry Jones in that old photo. You do know about the Jerry Jones in that old photo, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that photo is old, and I don't know why. Like, people have a bad habit of like bringing up or bring back old photos, and it's like, why are they bringing back photos that are like this ancient? I mean, sure, Jerry Jones is a racist, sure, whatever, but at the same time, it's kind of like he owns what, the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
They're not going nowhere anyway. They lose every single time in the playoffs. The worst thing about that picture is he's a future owner. He was a future owner at that time of a shitty poverty franchise. Because if you're from Washington D.C., you hate the Cowboys automatically. So people already
Well,
had smoke with Jerry Jones anyway. So
yeah, that goes both ways. Some people hate him. You got more Cowboy fans in this city than you know. But that's here nor there. A lot of families are half and half. It's a big shit show. Yeah, but my whole point on it is okay. Yeah, we know how he is, and that picture just explains what I already knew that he ran in that circle. Now he might not be flag burning, cape on head. Now but it's in his spirit and it's in his soul and it was in his upbringing. So that gives me a inside look of what I kind of suspected because of where he grew up at. I think it was Oklahoma or Arkansas, somewhere around there. And it's not for us out there, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I kind of
exactly.
suspected it, and
Yeah.
I don't condone it. I don't hold it against him because he can change. I just don't think he has changed. Everybody was like, well, it was 66, 65 years ago. Yeah, but to be honest with you, how do you really see that much change in him? From now until then, he just probably ain't as open with it as he normally would be. So he ain't gonna walk around saying that dumb shit, or he'll get clocked
Hmm.
in the face. Back then, he could say whatever the fuck he wanted to, and look like in that picture he was seeing that being said, and it's just a clusterfuck. Like I get cancel culture trying to bring up old shit, but
Yeah, yeah.
I mean I get it, but I already kind of suspected that. I suspected that most of the owners in the NFL, anyone above the age of 70, 75, and they're still like owners of NBA, I mean NBA, NFL, and all that. That shit is deeply in and rooted with that. They probably made their money off of something slick, real estate back then, renting to black people or fucking us over some type of way. And
Of
it's just
course, of course.
evident. So I always think that, and I always say this: the world can't get better until that generation dies off, and hopefully they didn't pass along so much hate to the next generation. But we won't know until you get 70 and you still see if that shit's still out there. But
Oh yeah, it's never going anywhere, man.
I know.
It's how the system is just made. It's how it's made. It's how it's ran. You know, they are the color of people that have the most position of power. They own the most things. Between them and the Jews. So I mean, it's it's more so of I just don't like that the black athletes or some of the black reporters, um they don't keep this energy. Like LeBron talked about the Jerry Jones Kyrie thing, but you didn't defend Kyrie when they
At
asked
all.
you a few weeks ago about that Kyrie thing. He didn't defend him at all. He threw him under the bus. But then now you want to defend Kyrie because he's playing ball and you realize that he's not anti-Semitic. He can't be anti-Semitic anyway. But
Thank
yeah, exactly. And Stephen A. Smith is the worst monkey of all right now because Stephen A. Smith got on TV talking about Jerry Jones is his friend and
you.
he
Yeah.
wants to defend. Don't defend somebody that would take a paycheck from you ever in your life, man. The very people that you defend are the same people that would take a paycheck from you in a heartbeat. So I just don't like Stephen A. Smith's doing that, and I will criticize Shaq and Charles Barkley too, even though I love both of them. But they do the same monkey shit too. They
Thank you.
get on there and they
Facts.
bash
Facts.
certain black athletes, and I hate it. I stopped watching TNT sometimes because of that shit. Because I just want to watch basketball. When I watch basketball, I want to focus on the sport, not what somebody else is doing on their off time. Like if you told me that LeBron James was a faggot, I'm not going to care. I just care if he's going to put up 30, 10, and 8 for me. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have him on fantasy.
Yeah. Yes. And LeBron bringing that up was trying to cover up the fact that, like you said, he took his stance against Kyrie without even listening to what Kyrie was saying, and him knowing Kyrie. Kyrie's just been
Exactly.
off the ball book type of guy. You knew that when you played with him. You knew that when you was friends with him. So for you to come out and say that, like you was pandering as well. And you're right, Shaq and Charles don't get no buy either, even though they try to retract their shit and say they were Kyrie and all that. I'm like, come on, man. You're getting dragged. The show was getting dragged because everybody was
Yep.
getting on y'all too, especially Shaq. And Barkley, I can give him a little leeway, but Shaq is just like, come on, man. Stop that. You don't have to do
Yeah.
that. You got money. You got tons of it. The fuck is you doing that stupid shit for?
I think it goes for Shaq more important because he got more endorsements than Barkley has. So
Yes.
you see Shaq on TV 24/7. So I think Shaq is trying to appease to the people that pay his bills. So and I will say that I think they both are great at their jobs. I'm not going to say that about Stephen A. Smith. I never liked him, but um, Shaq and Charles Barkley are really good at sports, uh, especially the analytical side. More Charles than Shaq because I think Shaq sometimes makes some horrible points, but Charles Barkley, when he's talking the sport of basketball, he knows what he's talking about. I mean, even though he's funny sometimes with some of the dumbass predictions, like rooting for those offbeat cities that never win anything, but
Yeah.
they got to stop criticizing black athletes on national television. Some of that shit has got to stop because the white man does the very thing. The white man does the very same thing, but nobody attacks them when they do it.
Well, I mean, I don't mind you criticizing them. It's the way you do it and on what you do it about. Now, if you just don't like his view, say you don't like his view. But to stand against him for something that you don't understand yourself, because can't nobody ever came out and said what how would you say is anti-Semitism? So until that's
Mm-hmm.
confirmed, like all them Jewish people always want you to take the class, but they can literally use their platform and put it out there. These things can consider you to be an anti-Semite. You know what I'm saying? But they don't even do that. So you don't know what it is, but then they always bring it up that you're doing it. So how you gonna correct something if you don't know you're doing it? That's just first and foremost, because nobody ever talks about that. Secondly, Shaq and them did it without really thinking about what they were doing, and that's what it was. LeBron too, and now he's trying to hold the media up for it because they didn't ask him the question because that's not a hot topic. You know, most people insinuated that Jerry Jones had somewhat in it. He ain't always pro with it, but he's something to dealings with it, and it's not a story. But if Kyrie said, there you go. But he didn't even call him on that. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, I get what he was trying to do, but just is it falling on deaf ears. It made people look at LeBron differently after that, and I did too. I was like, bro, I mean, come
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
man.
because the same thing with Jerry Jones is the same thing that happened to Ari Spears, and the same thing that's happening to DJ Khaled right now with an interview that he had a few years ago, dismissing DAWs such as FL Studio and Logic as those producers being quote unquote not really musicians and shit like that, but yet he's never produced a fucking record in his life. So it's the same thing. I don't know why people are bringing up old things and trying to hinder somebody else's career and stuff. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, to me, the Jerry Jones thing. If you're going to hold Jerry Jones accountable, then have the same energy for Joe Biden, because Joe Biden wasn't. Joe Biden didn't always have Democratic viewpoints.
Hey! Every time I say that to people, people always say it don't matter. He trying this for this for people. He's doing this for people. I'm glad you brought that up because I be having some heated debates with people about that. I was like, bro, they really forgave this man for what he put out there. You know, he was against the busing back in the 70s. He didn't want us
Yep,
to go to their schools. He
yep.
also was on the front line to the 1986 crack epidemic law that put us in there for a drop of crack, but not the people who had the powder. So the powder,
Oh,
you got less time for the cocaine that was used to make it. That didn't make no sense to me anyway. From then on, that was a predatory law to get you in the jail. He was
hmm,
like, well, all that was bad. Yeah, it was, but you're sending a message when you're giving the people who's using it way more time than the people who manufacture the shit in another country. But that's here nor there. I ain't gonna start with that. But yeah, I thank you for mentioning that because I thought I was the only one who knew that. And he did the '94 bill too. Everybody want Ross in the rug too. But
oh
they
yeah.
love Joe. They love Joe Biden though. They love Biden.
But
Oh,
I knew what he was doing. You know, he rode the ticket of Obama. You know, I'm gonna get on the good. I'm gonna pander to the blacks. I'm gonna pander to the Mexicans and the Hispanics. I'm gonna run with the black guy. Of course, he pandered. He knew what he was doing.
yep.
The woman he's running with is pandering too for
Yeah.
black people.
Yeah, even though she's black, they don't see her as black, and that's a,
Oh hell
and they
no.
never understood why they don't people don't see him as black because they don't realize it. They don't realize that we can smell you. You don't smell like you for us. You smell like you want the plus of being with us, with getting the votes and all that. When shit the fan, you ain't standing with us, and that's a whole nother story with her too. I was like, all right, man, I don't want. I was stay. We're gonna stay upbeat. You know, what I'm saying it's different time for all that. But yeah, moving on though, man. You know, the Warriors been turning the ship around, man. I watched the. They've been playing a little bit better. Brooklyn been playing a little bit better now. You know, Milwaukee falling down. They ain't as good as they was. Coming back to the back of the pack. I don't know what's going
I
on with
think
Miami.
I think the injuries did that to Milwaukee.
Okay.
I think they're still good though. It's just they get Middleton back this Friday though, which is
Okay.
they get him back tomorrow. So that's a
Yeah.
bonus.
Yeah, but your Celtics is they looking good, bro.
Boston looks like the best team in the league right now, honestly, man. They look like they could be the best team in the league. I mean, Jason Tatum is on an MVP run right now, in my opinion. He might be number one in MVP voting besides Luca, Steph. Luca and Steph would be his other only other counterparts right now.
Yeah, man, I watched that Dallas game with the other. What was it? Last night, or
Gold,
night
you
before
got my Golden
last.
State versus Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like the traveling calls they were calling. I was like, you know, they do this every game, but tonight y'all want to call traveling, and all the free throws they gave Luka Doncic. I was like, okay,
I, I,
okay,
I have an issue with the refereeing, but I'm gonna get on Dallas first before I get to the refs because you made a great point with that. Um, Dallas plays horribly to me, and I hate how they play. I don't know if I'm gonna continue watching them when they have primetime games. I love Luca though. Luca, my boy, he's one of my favorite players right now. But that team's offense, how they run, is putrid. Like Golden State could have won that game if Steph Curry, especially if Clay. I'm sorry, Clay and Wiggins and Poole played fucking terrible. They didn't offer him no help. Steph did everything out there. Steph was the granddaddy, the uncle, the father, the stepfather, the granddaddy, the grandmother too. He was everybody in the family. He didn't have no help. But the refereeing, some of these ejections and these technical calls, especially the Fred Van Fleet one I just saw a few days ago. Fred didn't do anything. All Fred did was clap his hands and say, "Come on," and he gets ejected.
yeah,
So
they call it
so
showing
you're
them up.
trying to hurt the Toronto Raptors, who's already suffering right now because they're missing some of their best players.
Yeah,
Like, come on now.
yeah. You know, referees don't like to be showing up. So if you clap or do like clap to the audience or show out any type of way, any hand gestures, any body language, they're gonna try to use that.
And it's soft now. It's like they're softer than the players. Like, come on, man. Like how the refs, but back in the '90s, it wasn't like that.
No.
It wasn't like that at all. Like if you got fouled in the '90s. And there was a lot of calls they didn't call in the '90s either. Versus
Yeah.
today, where it's like, why are you calling this for? Like, that's a fucking play on. Like, come on.
Yeah. True shit. True shit. But yeah, man. So the league's starting to shape up. Starting to see what teams are teams now, and I think it's pretty overall balanced now. I think that's the goal they wanted. It's like no true dominant team. Like Phoenix wins games. The
Hmm.
Clippers are still in disarray, which is very disappointing.
Yeah, man, that's another. Like, what do they do? You got all three of the guys out right now, and
Yeah.
Kawhi and Paul George are out indefinitely. We don't know when they're coming back.
So that's just sad. That's a lot of money wasted on the sideline. You know, calling them Clippers always be injured. Anyways, they blew me with that. Sacramento's playing well. I like to see that.
They have been a surprise. I love the Kings right now, man. I never thought I would say the Sacramento Blings are doing something, but they are,
Ooh,
man.
yeah, yeah. Well, shit, the last time they were relevant, you were like 6, 5.
No cap. It was when Chris Webber was on the team. You ain't lying about that. That was when they had Bibby, Weber, Doug Christie. Yep. Peja Stojakovic. Yep.
You know, you know about that. You know about them old Sacramento Kings. Man. Stop that. Yeah,
Oh
stop
man, Bonzi Wells used to be on the Sacramento King. I know about. Hey, I know my teams.
that. Yeah, but that's just funny. Yeah, so I don't know, but the league's shaping up good though. I was trying to get interested in it, but I don't know how I really feel about it because some games are good, like the Pacers are okay,
Hmm.
and I wouldn't mind seeing them. But then I'm like, where's the excitement at? Where's the fun team at? I just don't be seeing it. Everybody just shoot now. Where's the offense being ran? I be
I
missing
see
it.
what you're saying. I see exactly. I would say like the fun teams watching right now. If I had to like pick teams, like oh man, I can't miss a game. Sacramento's one. The Pelicans when everybody's there is two. Um, Indiana is another team. Surprisingly, has been fun to
Yeah.
watch. Indiana's definitely third for me right now. Boston is fourth. And then I would say Cleveland. When the Cleveland has everybody, Cleveland is another fun team to watch. That game between them and Boston this year was one of the best games so far this year.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. You know. But yeah, I mean, sports is shaping up good. You watched the World Cup?
Almost all I'm gonna say is this: I saw the highlight when Saudi Arabia beat Messi, and
Uh,
that shit was funny. I ain't gonna hold you, but I
okay.
don't watch soccer.
Yeah, I try to get into it. I mean, I watch a little bit of it, but It's a lot of running, bro.
Yeah, you're not lying about that. I don't know how they do it, man.
Hey,
I
they
don't know
gotta be
how they
in
do it.
really good shape. It's a lot of running. It's a lot of running. And now I know why they're so excited when they score a goal. It's like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, it's tough because you have some games that could go in a stalemate and nobody scored. It's like a tie, and you just ran for about 2 hours.
You know? Mm. But yeah, the World Cup is what it is. And you know they got sports betting now. So I see everybody sports betting in Maryland. They updated the law where you can use the FanDuel Sports and all them other little apps of sports bets. You're not a
Yeah,
gambling person, are you?
I want to get into it, but when I get a job, man, I can't do it
Okay.
right now. I ain't trying to bankrupt myself.
Yeah, because I see a lot of people now saying they bet on the FanDuel.
Yeah, they do. DraftKings,
Yeah,
FanDuel,
DraftDuel,
and I
all
and
of
I
them.
and it's actually real money too, man. It's nuts.
Yeah,
That's nuts. I was just like,
I
man, it's
know.
like fucking Vegas on your phone.
What was I about to say? But people don't understand the parlays and how all that work. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I can bet $4 and a chance to win $250. That's a good come up.
It's risky, but I understand the payoff afterwards because it's like if you win $1,000 off a bet and you only bet at $5 or $10, I mean, what are you really losing? Even if you still lose the bet, you only placed the bet for $5 or $10. Now, the people more than that, that's risky. I'm betting $100. I'm not betting 50. My bets would be safe, like $5 and maybe $300, $500 between that range. I'm not going to 1,000 because I still think that money is taxed. I still think they will tax you for that
Yeah,
money that
I
you
think
win
after a
from
certain
that.
amount, the tax man will get his cut.
Oh,
What you got reported.
100%.
What you got reported.
Report exactly. And do you really want to report that? Not really.
Yeah, so that's fucked up. But yeah, I just found that funny because I seen random girls posting and they bet on a fan doing all. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
gambling
man.
is a thing.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. I mean, I've seen people do it. I have a group chat of buddies that they bet for football and basketball. I would do it for basketball. I suck at football. I don't know shit about football. So basketball, I would be pretty good at it.
Yeah, they were doing it for the World Cup too. That's why I brought that up because they were doing it for the World Cup.
Ooh, you can make a lot of money if you
Yeah,
base on the World Cup, though. Goodness gracious.
yeah. The
Mm.
friend of my coworker of mine, he said he had a system, him and his brother, and they were putting a certain amount of money on it. I was like, I know how I am. If I start gambling, bro, I'll be out. I'll be out there, bro. I'll be turned
Oh
out.
yeah, you.
Cause
Oh yeah.
I,
Because imagine you made a certain amount of money, you don't want to go back to
yeah,
work.
dead basically.
Yeah,
If I come
yeah,
up and win like 20 G's or 30 G's off of like 8, 9 bets, and I start getting reckless.
yeah. Fuck work.
So
I'm calling out
yeah,
tomorrow. You're not even sick. You know you could easily go to work. You just say, fuck work. You ain't going. I just made
yeah.
$20,000 off of FanDuel.
So you gotta watch shit like that. But that was just cool and shit. So yeah, man, I know you know about the Nas and 21 Savage beef, right?
I was aware of that. Yes, I am. I saw 21 Savage's comments and I thought they were absolutely correct, but it just came from the wrong person. And he contradicted himself in the statement. But what did you listen to KD3 by any chance? Did you listen to Nas' new album?
Nah, you listen
Okay.
to it?
I did. I've listened to it twice actually. I
Okay,
actually think it's really good. It's a
okay.
very slept on, underappreciated hip hop album in my opinion. Um I think 21 Savage was doing this as a marketing tool now because now it's like, oh, you say that, and then the next minute you got a song with him. And Nas doesn't give two fucks about anything you said. And he never will because he's already got money.
Yeah,
And he's a,
and stature too.
it's exactly like Nas is literally top five, one of the greatest New York rappers ever.
Yeah,
Like if he's not your top five for New York rappers, I don't want to hear your list because
true.
if you're gonna put Kumo D or some shit, I don't want to hear that shit. Fuck out of here.
The Wild Wild West.
Wes, yeah, the fuck out of here. Kumo D, stop it, stop it, please stop.
Oh man, but yeah, I found that funny. He did make a point that kids getting in the joint, they don't say put that Nas in. But why would a kid say that? So if he's 14 or 15, it's rare he know about it.
Yeah,
Like I work around people that are around your age that don't even know about Trick Daddy. I was like, how the fuck y'all know about it? And I realized y'all were coming up, y'all probably didn't listen to it. Y'all remember I was 6, 7, 8, 9. So y'all want to listen to Trick Daddy, especially, Doug.com and all that.
Trick
Uh,
Daddy's the one that did I'm a Thug, right?
yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah. And I was like, they just now heard it. And I was like, really? And they was like, yeah, I just now heard it. I was like, oh, okay. I kept my inner thoughts to myself, and I just looked at it and I was like, because one of them said his dad put him on a lot of music, and I was like, but you would have, but then I realized they just didn't
You know, it's funny, bro. I feel like if you put certain people like me, you, and some other people that know the names of actors, the names of rappers, the names of artists, different artists, we would be aliens to other people that don't give a fuck about that stuff anyway.
know. Yeah.
So it's like for people my age or younger, they have to discover music at their own terms. They can't do it at the terms of somebody else. Like me and you, we could watch a different movie each night. That's because we just want to see something different. With somebody else, they're going to be ignorant to the idea of watching something new because they're accustomed to watching something that they already know about. Now, calling somebody ignorant in that sentence might offend them, but I'm not saying ignorant in terms of their intelligence. I'm saying ignorance in terms of they don't know about other things that they haven't been brought to. And I'm ignorant to certain things. Like I don't know about other music cultures that well. I'm not a Latin music savant like that. But do I know about some Latin music? 100%. Just like you know about some folk music, and you're black. I'm sorry, is folk music a black man's music game? No, no. Rock and roll is. We don't get the credit for that, but it is
Not at
because
all.
we are the ones who were the best at it, and we did it first.
You
But
heard your man, Little Richard.
and
Y'all don't,
Little Richard, Chuck Berry,
Little Richard say that shit all the time. Y'all don't never give me no credit.
credit exactly. May he rest in peace. And Chuck Berry, another guy. They hundreds of artists have stolen "Roll Over Beethoven," "Johnny
Yeah.
Be Good," all those songs that he wrote and he sang, and those were his creations. So, but for kids my age, I will say this to the younger kids and people my age. I would say, look, if you're gonna listen to music, find things that fit who you are. Don't listen to things that fit who other people are, because there's gonna be some stuff that you have like that other people will hate, and it's okay. So just listen to it anyway. If it's garbage, turn it off. If you find something that's good, cherish it, share it. So that's how I view it.
Cool. Cool. That's the word from my man's. Yeah, that's what's up. So, you watch the Soul Train Awards?
Man, I know Jasmine Sullivan won, and that's it. That's all I
Uh,
know.
so you didn't see the tribute they did to Escape and the shade that was thrown out there?
Oh man, what shade happened this time?
So Escape the group, they tried to
Mm-hmm.
dress in unison, but they didn't tell the other girl how they were dressing. So all of them was matching except for one girl.
And that was
And
on
then
national television.
that was on national television.
Oh wow.
That's what I said. I was like, how y'all gonna accept the award y'all knew y'all was getting, but throw big shade out there? And then one girl that was talking all the time, I think it was Candy, or the one who had the show, because I get their names mixed up. I ain't gonna swear to y'all.
Okay. But Candy is in that group though, right?
Yeah, her,
Okay.
Tiny, and there's two other ones. They threw big shade to the other one on the end. I forgot her name.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just so funny because it didn't make sense how they were doing it and how they were talking.
Yeah.
Like you were just talking stupidly. Y'all grew, and it's just you gotta really watch it, and you could just see it through the whole interview and the presentation for the award. I think it was a lady award or something. Anyway,
It's funny you mentioned that because they did the same thing for Chris Brown at the VMAs. They started booing him when he won for best male artist or something. I'm just, why are you booing Chris Brown for? The
yeah,
fuck?
not are they doing Chris Brown?
Like Chris Brown is a R&B music legend to me, man. Like I'm not gonna put him in the same vein as Michael Jackson, even though that's his idol. But Chris Brown has got hits, man. Like if you're an R&B act and you say you want to go in a versus battle, and you say you're gonna go against Chris Brown, you better be somebody like Usher. Because if you're not Usher, you're losing. If you're not Usher or R. Kelly, you are losing. Or babyface, you are losing that. You're losing that battle. So,
Yeah, it was the Lady of Soul Award. That's what it was.
oh, okay,
And
okay,
they
okay.
performed their hits. They had JD with them and everything. I found that funny.
Damn, it's crazy, man. I wish that some of these shows get marketed more. I know the BET Awards, all those shows get marketed well, but some of the ones like the Soul Train Awards and there's another one. 'Cause VH1 does the Soul Train Awards, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
there's
think
another
so.
one group too. I forgot though.
I don't know. I mean, I used to watch a lot of award shows, the Hip Hop Source Awards and all that, but
Yeah,
it stopped being for us, and it just started being. It's goofy now. I don't know how to say it. How the youngest say it, that shit is goofy, and
yes.
it don't feel the flavor it used to have. And I think because they don't mix with creativity. So when you do a show, you should have three different aspects to it. The creative one, the street or hood one that throw influence in it to keep it how we like it, and then the
Hmm.
commercial one. You know what I'm saying? And make sure it produces money because it's a show. They gotta make money, so you gotta have sponsors and all that. Those
Right.
three should be on the same page than making this show. And it don't feel like that. It feel like it's just tokenism, and we're gonna find a long ago group, and that's how I feel. So I'm like,
I agree.
yeah. And same thing with the Grammys too. I mean, you don't want us there, but you need us there because we gonna bring the people to watch it. You know?
Oh yeah, 100%. You know they're gonna, they're paying. The Grammy. We already talked about how bad the nominations were this year. I mean,
Yeah.
they were atrocious, worse than last year. And I mean, you had a few good albums this year, and I just feel
Yeah.
like the representation of the Grammy should be to represent music's best, and
Hmm.
that's what Grammys is initially was made for, music's best. But it's
Yes.
never felt like it's music's best. It always felt like music's most popular.
True.
So, uh, you know me, man. I watched. I'm more in tune to look at who the winner of the Oscars than I am the Grammys because I already can predict who the fuck will win. And I'm normally not that like my win percentage of picking winners for Grammy should be at least 60 to 65%. Like it's that high because I don't really need to look at who's gonna win. I could just they make it obvious for you.
True. You're right about that. And it's sad to see the state of music. It's about optics, not about talent. They can't see past the optics, man. And I get it. And then when we have our own shows, people demean it. You know, but
I know exactly what you're saying, man. I know
they'll be
exactly
like,
what you mean.
yeah. So, but yeah, I just thought that was funny though, because then Tanya tried to pick the mic up and talk shade to other girls. You just gotta watch it. I mean,
It's on YouTube.
yeah, you can get a snip of it on YouTube.
All right,
Just
I'm gonna look that up right after we
yeah,
done with this. I gotta watch that.
yeah,
This
just
sounds
watch
like
the
entertainment.
yeah, some funny shit.
Yeah,
It's always some funny shit.
it sounds like
So
some Thursday night entertainment.
yeah, basically, outside of the pop topics right here, get y'all a sprinkle of that, But yeah, go check that buffoonery out.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, man, there's been a lot of new games came out lately on the systems, bro. So yeah, I mean it's been a nice little wave, but they always do that right before Christmas. They try to hit you with a lot of games like the Call of
Yep.
Duty, God of War coming out. They had a new expansion for World of Warcraft. I don't know if you play PC games. Pokemon game came out. Shit ton of games got hit this week, bro. Got a lot of games
Yeah.
out there.
I know I saw one of my friends was playing Ragnarok. I think that's the new God of
Yeah.
War game.
Uh
And
huh.
the graphics looked amazing. I was just like,
I
man, the
know.
graphics are stunning.
It's fucked up, bro. I like that jump though, but I know it was only for PlayStation. I thought it was for Xbox too.
Oh, God of War?
Yeah.
Exclusively PlayStation.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
We don't got no games, man. I'm on the box, and I can tell you, I want to switch over to PlayStation, but looks
Mm.
like Sony and Microsoft are beefing over Call of Duty right now.
Ah, beefing?
Yeah, something about Microsoft is trying to purchase some companies that was owned by Sony previously. That's what it looks like.
Hmm. I mean, I get it, but yeah, I got me a new Xbox. I got the new one.
The Series X.
Yeah, I like that jump. I like that
Hey,
jump. Yeah,
did you
stepped
get any
up in the
games?
world. No, I ain't bought a game yet. I'm debating on what I'm gonna buy.
Okay.
Yeah, but I got that jump. That jump nice. Game
Oh,
Pass too. I got the Game Pass for a year free. I didn't know we get all them games like that, bro. I was like, okay,
oh man, they gave you the Game Pass automatically with it.
yep. I even have to
Shit,
pay
that's
for it.
clutch.
Yeah,
Dang
and
man.
it was worth it because they're still price gouging in the PS5s, which I'm absurdly upset about. To get a PS5, you got to spend $1,200
Why?
because they won't sell it to you without getting a bundle. If you get the bundle, it's $1,200. If you go to a place like the Renter Center or buy it on online payments or whatever, $1,500.
Oh
And if you
hell
put in
no.
and if you're putting payments on it, like you're gonna pay $20 or $30 a month, it's $2,200, bro.
Nah, that's too much.
For a fucking PS5, that's $600. This is the effect of the PS5 people. So they said that you can get it anywhere, but you go everywhere and you never see them on the shelves. So I'm like, either y'all not producing them or something's funny is going on. But I think they rushed it and it wasn't supposed to be ready yet. And now they don't have the parts to mass produce them,
Yeah.
so they only put a certain amount out. And these flippers are just killing it. They'll buy them faster than we can get to them, and then sell them for $800, $900, $1,200. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's a big machine.
Yeah,
It's really bulky. Like I thought PlayStation would get smaller. They got bigger. That
yeah,
compared to the Series X, which is much smaller, and uh, yeah, I mean the PS5 is a beautiful running machine. Though. I've seen it. It's nice, but it's really big. It almost looks like a router.
mm, yeah, yeah. With the Xbox is a tower. It ain't that big, but it's sturdy. Like it's heavy as fuck, but it's not that big though. It's
Oh
cool
wow, you
though.
said it's heavy.
Yeah, like
Oh wow.
it's small, but it's dense. So when you lift it up, you're like, oh shit.
Oh, you can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel the heaviness. It ain't light.
Damn.
And they still got the fucking controllers with the batteries. I was like,
We
y'all gonna
gotta get
keep
rid of
double? Yeah,
that.
y'all still got this double A battery shit, bro. Come on, man. We can do better than this, people.
Yeah, I agree with that. I hate the battery controllers, but I think Xbox just needs to create better games for their users because PS5, PlayStation, Sony in general, the exclusives is the only reason why somebody would buy the
True,
system.
true.
Um, and I think the game systems that the gaming system company that could be ahead of everybody if they believed in backwards compatibility would be Nintendo. But they still haven't caught up to the 21st century, in my opinion, in terms of giving their customers and consumers what they want. But in terms of technology and some things, they're ahead of the game. But in terms of making games and providing to the customers, they're last place to me because Nintendo should be the number one gaming system, man. I mean,
Yeah.
they have some of the
On name
best
alone,
platform carriers. Exactly.
but yeah, they did drop the ball on that. They Pokemon game had a lot of bugs too. They're just updating a new patch to it because a couple people played it. I played it too. If y'all want to check that out, I streamed it a few days. I gotta finish my playthrough out. I got busy, so I couldn't play it all the way through. But yeah, I like it because it's a different beat to the online thing. It's like very different than it normally would be. So I was like, cool. I mean, it was a good game. I mean, out of five, I give it a 3.5 for my playthrough of it. So yeah, that's about right.
Oh, so you liked it? That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
out of five, I get 3.5. 3.5 real stars. You know.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah. It leaves much to be desired. I mean, but it's the wave of the future. It ain't straightforward as it should be. Uh, but yeah.
It's I feel like for those Pokemon games, I don't play them, but in my opinion, I think that they've already hit their peak in terms of the best games that they can possibly do. Because, like, when I was a child, some of the more popular Pokemon games were Gold,
Hmm.
Silver,
Yeah.
those on the Game Boy. And people would play those religiously, man. Like, I was behind the curve. I would lose. I wasn't playing. I got the Game Boy when everybody was on console. I was
Oof.
late getting the Game Boy. I didn't get the S. My first Game Boy was the SP. That's how late I was.
Oh man. Shout out to the SP though. I like that jump, especially a little pocket one too.
Yeah,
My shit.
yeah.
You be in class playing that jump. You don't know about that dog.
Exactly, man. And the Game Boy, and that's what I'm saying. Nintendo was ahead of the game in terms of technology,
Yeah.
but in terms of like giving their consumers and customers what they want, like why would they do that bundle package of the Mario games where you gave me Sunshine 64 and Galaxy when you could have just put Galaxy 1 and 2 remastered on one game and I would have bought that instead of me playing all three Mario games and you didn't enhance the graphics on none of them. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Not at all. Uh, but yeah, they got a lot of new games out there, and for good luck trying to find a system because Xbox or PS5 people. So it's what the third year in a row. The third year in a row you ain't find one.
It's bad out here for especially for Sony, man. It's hard to
Yeah.
get one of those.
Oh, this is the second year. No, it came out right when the pandemic hit, didn't it?
For PlayStation 5, this should be either 1 or 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like it's 2 years. But hey, good luck. Happy hunting, cause you ain't gonna find one out there. You gonna have to do a bundle plan. If you want to go ahead and buy that bundle pack, they'll give it to you. You gonna spend about 1,200 though.
Whew, that's nuts.
I know. That's what I said. That's what I said. So, did you ever get to see your movie Black Panther?
Oh, we got to talk about movies, my man.
Yeah,
I actually
yeah.
watched something worse than Black Panther, and you know it's coming.
Who did you watch before you was
I
the Black
watched the
Panther?
other black movie, Black Adam. I watched Black Adam because you recommended it, and you said, you know what, check it out anyway, even though you didn't like it. And boy, Rel, I didn't like it either. I think it's one of. I'm gonna be nice and say that it's not one of the worst movies of the year, but it's close. It's pushing it. What the fuck was that movie, dude? Like I I'm gonna say this. The best thing I loved about the movie, the number one thing I loved the most was Dr. Fate. Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate was
Facts.
phenomenal. I wish he got more scenes, honestly. I thought he was the best actor in the film. And that's me saying that about James Bond, an ex James Bond, who ain't known for acting at all. But the ending of that movie where he fights the little demon creature was one of the worst things I've ever fucking saw in my life. And then zombies appear, and I'm just like, what is this? And then Superman appears at the end of the movie, and I'm just like, you could have had somebody show up that wasn't these pussy ass characters the whole movie, and it
Thank
would
you.
have been great.
That's what I said. I was like, why not call Captain Marvel?
Exactly. They both got the same type of power. They both say
Thank you.
Shazam and they go back to kids or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get that either. I was like, you could have put anybody in there, but you just let him roam. And I was like, then you give us these weak ass people outside Doctor Fate.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and I watched Justice League movie. It was one of those animated ones. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called it was part of like the Dark series, so it was like Apocalypse War.
Yeah, you finally saw that. What you think about that?
It was dark. I mean, a lot of the characters
Okay.
died.
Yeah. Yeah,
I thought
buddy.
it was okay,
Yeah, it's gruesome.
but I like
Yeah,
that though. I think that Marvel should go down that route, but Marvel's not going to go down that dark, super dark route like that. They did it with
true.
Logan, but that wasn't Marvel. So
Yeah, I think that too. And I always tell people DC's animated trumps Marvel's animated. but Marvel's trying to catch up because when they did the What If series, that was pretty good.
I
So
gotta finish watching that. You and
yeah.
another friend talked to me about. I'm on the second episode. That's how I know I gotta go back and
Oh
watch it.
hell yeah,
The
yeah,
one
yeah.
where T'Challa meets the Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever.
Yeah. It gets way better,
I'm
bro.
gonna
I ain't
go.
gonna spoil it for you, but yeah, you need to
I'm
watch it.
going to go. In fact, because of you my mans, and you recommend good shit sometimes, and so we both recommend good shit sometimes because we're not
Yeah.
gonna like everything that we recommend.
True,
But
true.
I'm gonna finish watching What If because I barely watch my Disney Plus, and I need
Yeah.
something to watch on Disney Plus for me to not be like, why am I subscribed to this?
I always say that. You gotta get your money's worth.
Yeah, no cap, man.
I know. Yeah, you never even finished Atlanta. You didn't even finished season 3 of Atlanta. Oh, bro, you gotta watch
No,
that.
man. I don't know if I want to go back to Atlanta, man. I think I've
I'm telling you, man, you gotta watch season 4. Season 4 answers a lot of your questions.
so 4 is good.
4 is good. 4 is good. It's the last one, but it's good. You need to really watch it, bro, because
Okay,
we could
I'll
have some
skip
records.
3 and I'll get to 4 then.
I mean, no, you gotta watch the last 3 episodes of 3, and then
Oh,
it piggybacks into 4.
okay,
But
okay,
you gotta watch the last 3 episodes of season 3. Them are the 3 best episodes of the season.
okay.
8, 9, and 10. Yeah, you gonna
Mm-hmm.
like them. They're the best ones, especially number
Oh,
9. You really gonna love number 9.
okay. I'm gonna get on it because I've been watching, even though I didn't want to watch the show at first, but I've been watching a new reboot of the Bel Air series, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but
Yeah, I gotta get on that
the
one
one
too.
that Will Smith just recently did. I've been watching
Yeah.
that, and I hate to say this because I hate Peacock anyway, and I don't subscribe to Peacock, but really good story because they stuck true to the lore of the Fresh Prince. They flipped a couple of things in the and with the characterizations of the characters, they flipped it, and I thought the flip is actually pretty cool in my opinion. But the acting, man, oh my god, the acting rail is some of the worst acting I have ever seen on a TV show.
They're
It's
no
bad.
names,
It's
bro.
piss poor.
I know they're no names though.
True, and a
Yeah.
lot of it reminds me of a BET show, but it's just on Peacock.
Hey, don't get me started with BT. Whew, man, the shit that they let Tyler Perry put out there is the worst.
Oh man, did you just see he just signed a movie deal with Amazon?
Yeah, good luck with that, Amazon.
I don't know if he's gonna do Medea movies or not now for that
I
or
hope he
shit.
stop. I mean, come on, man. We tired of seeing Medea. Do something else. If you're funny, you should be able to do something else.
I agree with that because I watched that last Medea movie he did, Homecoming, and I was just like, there's a few scenes that are really funny, and then there's some scenes where I'm just like, why was this ever filmed?
Yeah, that's what it'll give you. A few good jokes, and that's it.
Facts,
That's all I
facts.
see from it. But yeah. I'm glad you watched Black Adam. You watched Black Panther too?
No, man. So I'm gonna wait for that to hit Disney Plus
Okay.
because I don't know if I want to spend my money going to the theaters for 3 hours and watching that,
It's two
especially
hours
since
and 40 minutes. It ain't 3.
yeah, that's still a long movie though, bro.
Oh yeah, everybody said that. You already knew it was gonna be a long movie.
And the Avatar movie's longer than that.
Yeah, you gonna go see that?
I would have to go with somebody if I do, man. I can't watch that by myself. I might fall asleep. I need somebody that's gonna be a friend or a female to watch that with me. I'll go see it if I'm with other people. I ain't watching that by myself.
Understood. Understood. Yeah, but you ain't messing up with that one either. But I'll wait till you see it to let you get in on it. But yeah, the Black Adam was just me, Black Adam, me smash. That's it. Oh, I kill without remorse. Okay. God, it was so repetitive, but
Yeah,
that's the rock
it
for you.
was. Yeah, it was like I don't know how Dwayne Johnson called it a passion project, but there was no passion in the movie. It's like you said you were built to play this character, which he was. I thought he can actually play that character. I think he was the right choice. Him or Mark Wahlberg could have played that character. You know what I'm saying? I'm being
Yeah.
funny saying that, but I just think that the writing they need to stick true to the books. But DC's doomed. Did you hear what James Gunn recently just said?
What do you say?
James Gunn, you know that they hired him as the DC director now for the movies now,
Yeah.
and He said that he does not read DC Comics.
Well, he don't have to read them. As long as he gets somebody to read it to him or tell him, hey, that's fictionally incorrect. You need to change that. Then I let him get a pass. Now it depends on his support
Ooh,
cast. If he ain't got no support cast, then
yeah,
they in for a world.
it's a tough situation, man. I don't know if I was behind DC or Marvel, if I would want somebody to be the board of directors and be like, hey man, how's my movie going? Oh, that's cool. I don't read none of the books anyway. Well, wait, what? What do you mean you don't read the character? You don't turn this character into a little boy. It's supposed to be a woman. What are you doing? I don't think he's gonna switch it like that, but it's just I would hit the panic button a little bit because I thought what he did with Suicide Squad was better than the original Suicide Squad we got, but it was still bad.
Mm, damn, that's fucked up. Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking about that now too. I was like, yeah, they could have did more with that than what they did, but it's just funny. The way the movies are going is just like, what the fuck, bro? Like, what the actual
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah. I feel bad for DC fans. I know you are a DC fan,
Yeah. I mean, I
and
love their comics and I love Batman, but I always knew they couldn't make a. They have the best characters and not be able to make an awesome movie is just the worst. And I don't know why they can't
mm-hmm.
get it right. But shit, Marvel can't get Fantastic Four right, so
Exactly, man.
hey, so
Exactly. And you
so
touche with that. Touche, because that has been Marvel's done a lot with their earlier move. Daredevil was terrible.
yeah.
Elektra was just as bad as Daredevil.
Oof, God damn.
Some of those early Marvel movies sucked.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, Electra or the Holly Berry Catwoman.
It's
Hey, you
high.
gotta put
It
them
has,
two
it's
as the
high.
worst movies ever, bro. For hey, and I ain't even know Shade to Holly, but that Catwoman movie was horrible,
Yeah, it was
horrible.
pretty
That
bad.
Electra
It
movie
was
wasn't that
really
much
bad.
better. Oh man, don't get me started.
It's funny because both franchises have done really bad movies. I mean, Ghost Rider franchise was horrible too.
Yeah, they can't get that right either. So
Nope.
yeah, that's another one. I don't know, but yeah, we're gonna switch it up for a little bit. We got a new segment for y'all, and we're gonna start doing actors or TV influencers. So we figured today would be the first time. So we're gonna start out with my man Eddie Murphy. I don't know how you feel about Eddie Murphy. So what are your thoughts on Eddie Murphy just as a person?
I absolutely grew up watching Eddie Murphy movies and going to the theater and watching Murphy on screen. So I am an Eddie Murphy fan. You can call me a fan of Eddie Murphy. I think he's one of the greatest comedians we've ever had. Uh, Now, with that being said, his movie career ain't the best. He's done some great ones, but there's a lot of bad. Lots and lots of bad. What about you?
I wouldn't call his movies bad. It was some of them I wouldn't have made, but I do like him in Shrek as the voice of Donkey. I liked him in Mulan
Mm-hmm.
as Source of the Dragon. I liked it when he
Yep.
did those roles. But in his early career, I did love Beverly Hills Cop. That was my shit. And that's because it had a good soundtrack, a movie soundtrack. Also, he was fit to play the cop role, even though they didn't offer it to him at first. I think they offered to Sylvester Stallone, something like that. But he made the role his own, so that gave me respect for him. But he got too much with it. He did it in 48 hours, then he did Beverly Hills Cop, Metro, and I was like, yeah. But when he started feeling himself, he started doing his own movies. And now they hood classics, but only hood people would get the jokes. So I hate it. I respect him for doing it. I respect him for doing it. But he didn't learn to branch out a little bit more. But yeah, so you know, his career wise, he opened up a lot of doors because your man was a triple threat. He could sing, even though party all the time wasn't all that. You know, but he could
Yeah.
stand. He did stand up. You know what I'm saying? He was a triple threat, and then he could act. So he get my respect for that. I did have beef with him, but that's just because I was chunky. And when the Nutty Professor came out, I had to hear that shit every fucking day. I mean, I was Sherman Clump for like 2 years. I was Sherman Clump for 2 fucking years, bro. Everywhere I went, Sherman, Sherman, Sherman. That shit drove me back shit. But I learned how to talk shit from that. Cause anybody you came at me with it, I was gonna roast your ass. So they always knew if they came at me with it, I held back. I didn't hold back shit. I was gonna roast you, bro. But yeah, that I ain't like Norbert either too much. But I'm glad he played the opposite side of it. He showed the fat guy, and he did the fat chick and how she was and all that. Doctor Doolittle wasn't that funny to me. I mean, it was a kids movie, but
Yeah, yeah. You
yeah,
you you naming some pretty. You've named some good movies so far, but you named some bad ones too.
yeah.
Some really bad ones.
And Holy Man God, why the fuck did he make that?
I don't. It's funny every time I talk to my dad about it. I'm just like, I always talk about his worst 5 movies because I could easily name the worst 5 movies of that man's career.
Name his worst 5 movies.
Eddie Murphy's absolute worst.
Absolute worst 5 movies.
Starting at 5, 1,000 words.
Facts.
At number four, we would have. I would say that this movie is a cult classic, but it's definitely one of that man's worst movies. At number 4, I'm going with Doctor Doolittle.
Yeah.
It's a cult classic film, but if I had to choose between Daddy Daycare or Doctor Doolittle, I would rewatch Daddy Daycare before I would watch Doctor Doolittle any day. So even though Daddy Daycare is a terrible movie too, but it avoids my list.
Yeah. Okay.
Number
All right.
3, Showtime, the movie he did with Robert De Niro when they were cops.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
Showtime is one of the worst movies ever filmed.
Oh man.
Showtime. Number 2, coming in second place easily, Norbit. Norbit is one of the worst movies. I went to the movie theater and saw Norbit too, so that was the worst part. That was on my family. We all went to see it and we walked out like, what the fuck was this? Like Norbit was so bad. There was really the funniest scene was the power tap scene. The power tap scene with Marlon Wayans is hilarious. It's scream out loud funny. But the rest of that movie is a complete disaster. It's all over the place. It's very offensive, but it's funny in some parts, but very offensive. But the worst movie of Eddie Murphy's career, The Adventures of Pluto Nash, will never be forgotten about. That is the worst fucking movie ever, in my opinion. Like that movie should have killed that man's career.
Yeah.
Pluto Nash is easily Eddie Murphy's worst movie ever to me in his career.
Facts. Damn, that was very accurate right there. I cannot dispute any of that. Any of it. But since you did the opposite, now you gotta do your top 5 best ones.
Damn. Okay, so does he have to be in the movie or star in it, or he
Nah,
just has to be
nah,
in the
yeah,
movie?
he could just be in the movie.
He could be in the movie.
Yeah,
If
he
I
could
had to do Eddie Murphy's best 5, I'm gonna start 5 off with easily Dolomite is my name. I absolutely love Dolomite. I thought that movie was funny as shit. I actually cried laughing at some scenes in that movie. Wesley Snipes was funny. He was funny. I actually went back and rewatched the original Dolomite because of that movie,
oh,
and
damn, you
because I
just know
never
about the
watched any
original
of those
Dolomite?
films. Never watched any of those films, man. And
Okay.
I walked away with one of the greatest insults ever when he called somebody a rat soup eating motherfucker. I think that shit is scream out loud funny. Um, at four, at 4 for Eddie Murphy, best movies. I'm gonna go with Dreamgirls. Eddie
Yeah,
Murphy was one of the best things about Dreamgirls.
he was.
He,
Facts.
he was effing amazing in Dreamgirls. I wanted to see more of him. He was
Jimmy, Jim,
amazing.
Jimmy got so.
Jimmy got so. Uh, at number 3, I'm gonna go with Mulan. Mulan
Okay.
is easily one of his best films. Mushu is one of the greatest animated
Yes.
characters. Easily for me. Mulan. For number 2, this is 2, right?
Yeah.
You know what? At 2, I'm gonna go with the Nutty Professor.
Okay.
The first one, not those sequels. The sequel is one of the worst movies, especially that second one. That second movie had too much shit going on.
Yeah,
It's a heart attack on screen, and it's another movie where it's just like, why, Eddie, why? But it avoided my worst list because those movies I named were worse than that film. But if I had to do top 10, it makes that list. But but number one, easily Shrek, man.
yeah,
Shrek is easily that man's best film. I mean, he made that's the most money he's ever made in his career from those movies, and it's hard not to see why. Those movies are fucking funny. The first two Shreks are classics. They're
yes.
great.
Facts. Facts on that. Facts on that.
They're
Yeah,
great. I love Shrek. I could rewatch the first Shrek over and over again. It's a great movie. It's funny.
yeah. I like that list. I like that list. It's good. It's good.
What about you? Because I know you probably might have a different order, or you might have
Yeah, yeah,
different
yeah,
movies.
yeah, yeah. Well, my top five is I got Shrek at 5.
Okay.
I mean, I love Donkey. Donkey's my shit. I use that all the time, especially when the broad got that big forehead. Never mind. I'm be nice. I'm be nice because I call females Donkey.
Oh man, I fucked up with my list, man. I forgot about Coming to America.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's too late now, bro. You forgot
I'm
them too.
hip. I'm hip.
Yeah, you forgot about them too. But Coming to America isn't really on my top. It's not there. It's not on my top five. I got like 6. I got Shrek. At 4, I got Harlem Nights. And the only reason why I got Harlem Nights in it, because that is some of the best shit talking in that movie that you wouldn't get unless you were born in an ethnic household. So
Yeah.
they critics view it very low. But young, if I want to laugh, the fact that that man called his wife and said, "Baby, I'm leaving. I ain't never coming back." Or when my motherfucking man shoot the gun 3 times and killed everybody. It's just so much in that movie. So I give him credit for that. Even though his role in the movie, it was like he was trying too hard. He
Yeah.
let the cast carry him because he actually wasn't that funny in the movie. Everybody else around him was funny.
Like Richard
But
Pryor and Red Fox.
yeah,
Yeah.
Barry Fox, Della Reese. Now you want to shoot me? Let me stop. I'll be here all day with that. But yeah, I get that number 4 because he was in it. Number 3, it gets tricky because I fucks with Boomerang. I do. I fucks with Boomerang a lot, and everybody don't like Boomerang, but Pops in that joint was funny.
Oh, John
Martin,
Witherspoon. Yeah,
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 yeah, he was funny as shit in
yeah.
it. You got to
Yeah, yeah.
coordinate, and I think it was well written. And it suit Eddie. That movie suited Eddie. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got that. Number 2, I got Beverly Hills Cop. That's my
Okay.
shit, bro. I love me some Beverly fucking Hills Cop, bro. I love me some Beverly Hills Cop. This the first one. The second and third one was money grabs, so I don't respect it. You know what I'm saying? Now, number 1 is difficult for me because I do like his role in Mulan. I like it, and then I like his Dream Girl roles. But I'm gonna go with the Dream Girl role because it showed a different side of him. Dolomite I had at 7, and I had a 48 hours at was 8. And we ain't doing top 10, top 5. But yeah, number 1, I have his role in Dreamgirls. It's his
Oh
movie.
yeah,
I know
definitely.
it wasn't his movie, but his part in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He,
so
he
that's just my.
easily, yeah, 100%.
And you forgot the honorable mention on the bad side, Vampire in Brooklyn. That is one of my top 5 bad ones. Even though it was
Yeah,
directed by
yeah.
Wes Craven, my man. God, Eddie, man, what the fuck were you thinking, bro?
You know what's funny? When you started mentioning the best movies, there's a few movies I want to take note that I forgot. I forgot about the first 48 hours. I
Yeah,
forgot about Coming to America, and I forgot about Trading Places. That's another movie I enjoyed too. Was Trading
yeah, I
Places.
liked it that, but this was early in his career, and some of them he overacted. If you go back and watch it, you like, you're doing a little bit too much, buddy.
I know what you're saying. I know what
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah. But
I know
that's just
exactly
my
what you're
personal
saying.
opinion of him. You know what I'm saying? I like the Nutty Professor. I just didn't like the stigma it gave me. So that's why I ain't put it in mine in there. But it was funny when you go back and you watch it with idle eyes.
Oh yeah, that movie's hilarious.
He said, "Cut you bleed chocolate milk." I
Milk
was like,
tea. My favorite part is at the dinner table when the uncle and the pop goes the weasel,
Yeah.
and then the weasel go pop. That shit kills me every single time. But and another movie I forgot to mention was Life. We forgot to mention Life as an
Damn, we
honorable
did
mention.
though. Yeah, we overslept Life. But Life is like Harlem Nights. He wasn't funny in it. Everybody else was funny in that motherfucker. His
I
cast did
agree.
that.
I actually agree with that because some
That's
of the
why I
other side
overlook it
characters
so
were
much.
funny.
Because I
Yeah.
don't consider it an Eddie Murphy movie, even though he in it, because he wasn't even nowhere. I don't remember no funny jokes he said.
You talking about Life?
Yeah, outside of the big dude said you want to eat your cornbread, and he was saying that to Martin. Eddie Murphy jumped in it. So I don't know. I mean, I was trying to think of what funny lines did he have in the movie.
I agree with that. I thought that that movie showcased both of those guys' dramatic roles better than the comedic side of the movie. Because I thought that like as a comedy movie, it's okay, but as a dramatic movie, it actually soars. And it's like it should have been more funnier than dramatic, in my opinion. But I thought that Life would be one of his better movies, in my opinion. But I like the fact that we mentioned, and Beverly Hills Cop is another one I forgot to mention as
Yeah,
well. It's not
I,
one of my favorites, and I think that's why I forgot to mention it. But I think I named my favorite Eddie Murphy movies besides his best. But I
yeah,
did mention some movies that were considered some of his best, like Shrek and the Nutty Professor and stuff. But
yeah,
Harlem Nights, I can see why I forgot about it because that wasn't really my era. But I
yeah.
have seen the movie, and I thought the movie was decent. But I thought that Richard Pryor and Red Fox kind of like, what I'm saying, kind of carried him in that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, they did. And Arsenio was funnier than him in that.
Arsenio was funnier than him in Coming to America.
Yeah, he said he killed my brother. Correct. See, everybody else make these movies. Eddie don't make them. That's why I give him somewhat credit, but I don't give him all the way credit. He probably directed it or helped make the movie, so he gets my respect on that end because he had a lot of power to do that. But some of his movies, he wasn't that funny. I was like, bro, like in Life, I'm literally sitting in my head trying to think of what funny line he said in Life.
I think the baseball scene, he was funny when he talked to Can't Get Right, when Can't Get Right was staring at the white girl.
Okay.
And the last part of the movie when he was elderly and he talked about he's gonna come out singing out the upper room or something like that. When he said that, that
Yeah,
shit was funny. But the rest of the movie, the side characters really did make Bernie Mac,
yeah. Jangling,
uh,
jangling.
yeah, Jangalang Jangalang, yes, exactly.
Yeah, a lot of his movies are like that though, you know. But yeah,
Oh yeah, I think for a lot of comedians it's like that. I mean, Chris Rock, as much as I love Chris Rock for movies, he hasn't had the best track record of movies either.
oh fuck no, bro. If we got do Chris Rock, we got
Another day, we're doing
yeah,
him another
we
day,
got to
exactly.
get on Chris because a lot of his movies I used to watch back in the day. His shit was trash too.
One
So,
hundred percent.
uh, your how you think Eddie Murphy helped the movie scene, being that he came from stand-up comedian to he went from Saturday Night Live to stand-up to movies. What part of that you think played on today's role in like Kevin Hart and Martin and who else? He had a lot of people come up behind him doing all of that too.
Yeah, he did. He put on a lot of people too.
Yes, he did.
He, I say that Richard Pryor is the one that opened the door for all of them, but took Eddie was a more successful version of what Richard Pryor could have done because Richard Pryor squandered his money on drugs and alcohol. So Richard Pryor died a broke man. Eddie Murphy will not die a broke man, and
True.
he's had a more prolific career than what Richard Pryor had for movies. Now for
Yeah.
stand up, no, stand up, no. Richard Pryor's track record of stand up shits on Eddie Murphy's 10 times, 20 times, 30 times harder because Richard Pryor had a lot more stand up tapes and stuff that we haven't even seen. There's a lot of unreleased Richard Pryor tapes that we still haven't even heard of and seen. Where Eddie, we've already seen a lot of his best stand up, raw, delirious. So
That was it. I think he stopped after that. He
ex-
ain't come back and do a tour since then. I don't think
exactly.
he. can do stand up anymore. He's smart. If you know you can't do it, I wouldn't do it.
Do it. Exactly. I don't think Eddie would be funny anymore, honestly. I think that in movies he can be funny, but I think that in terms of him doing stand up, no, he doesn't. He ain't like Chris Rock or Hannibal Buress or some of these younger black comedians that they could be funny right now.
Yeah.
But and they could still be funny. But he he's very important to the black community and the comedian community as well because he's one of the best to ever do it. I think that the love that he gets is deserved. I love Eddie Murphy. We grew up on his movies. I
Yes.
mean, if you didn't grow up in a black household, not watching his movies, then you weren't black. I mean, even if you were black and you didn't watch an Eddie Murphy movie as a child, you didn't have a childhood, in my opinion. I mean, if you didn't grow up watching Eddie or Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, the Boondocks, certain things you just didn't live. I mean, you missed out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
SpongeBob, the OG SpongeBob. So you missed out on a lot of stuff if you weren't watching that stuff. But Eddie is important. He always will be important. Hasn't had the best movie career, but he has probably one of the most important movie careers for comedians because a lot of them follow his footsteps. But Richard Pryor is the one that opened that door for all of them. Because
Yeah.
without Pryor, you wouldn't have comedians getting movie roles like they get. They can get it because of Pryor, and Pryor's had some good movies in his career too. So
Yeah. Well, to sum up what you said and add a little bit to that, Pryor got movies, but he got black exploitation movies, and that's sad. Eddie crossed the line and started getting mainstream black lead and appealing to a broader horizon. To keep it simple, he could get the white people to the stands, so they liked it that.
mm-hmm.
And but he still held on to the black people, so he didn't sell out to get up. And I always respected him for that. And he opened doors because he went on Saturday Night Live, killed it. Then he started doing movies and all that, and I respect him for that. His hustle, his grind, and he did everything, you know. But culturally, he couldn't keep up. That's the best way I could say it. Like he was stuck in like the early '80s, mid to late '80s, and it didn't translate. That's why his biggest successes later in his career, he was doing voices. So up until Dolomite and Dreamgirls was bounce backs for him, you know. But Dolomite was funny as fuck. But Dolomite in itself was funny anyway, so he ain't really do too much. He just took from what my man Rudy Gay did, and he brought it to the light. He gave Rudy Gay his flowers, even though he ain't hit with us, but still, because that man was a shit talker exponent, you know. What I aspired to be.
Yeah,
He had a comeback for anything you said.
yep,
He had a comeback for. So my uncle put me on the Dolomite way back when Dolomite was bad dude. Yeah,
exactly,
so I learned
exactly.
about that when I was a youngin'. But that was good though. But I respect Eddie for what he did. I think he shouldn't have did Coming to America 2 that way. Uh, Coming to America 1 was funny, but it was stupid funny. I don't know how you put it. It was like what, and you watch it over and over again, it stopped being as funny. You know what I'm saying? It, like
Yeah.
life, you could keep watching it and it's gonna stay funny. Even Harlem Nights, even though you know the jokes is coming, it's gonna be funny. Boomerang, you know what's gonna happen because his ensemble was good. And Coming to America, that's why I didn't rank it that high. He did a lot of the other supporting characters, him and Arsenio. So it was like it was one man band. I get that, but how can I put it? He was overdoing it sometimes. But that's here nor there. But yeah, but I respect him, man. You know, career wise, I give him a 4 out of 5. You know, he did well. He ain't a 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, because he had some fucked up ones, and I give him an 8 for trying. But you know, I give him an
Yeah,
8 for
yeah.
trying.
I can see why. I can see why you say that, and I agree, man. I think I'm hard on Eddie Murphy because those bad movies really.
Yeah, fucked you up, Holy Man. Thousand Words, Prime Prime, Brooklyn. Come on,
Yeah,
bro.
those movies are horrendous, horrendous.
Metro. Metro is. I don't know. I ain't really. I ain't really fuck with it.
Yeah, man. Eddie has done some. I think I would love to see Eddie if they give him. I think the one role I think that he could be an Oscar-winning role if he were to play this person in a movie, and this won't be a comedy movie; it'd be a drama musical. I would love to see Eddie still play Stevie Wonder, man. If they did a Stevie Wonder movie, they have to cast Eddie Murphy as Stevie Wonder. He looks like him. He's got the mannerisms down perfectly when he mocked him on SNL.
Yeah.
But he did that for comedy reasons. But if he could do that for comedy, he could definitely do it for dramatic acting. I would love to see Eddie suit up and play Stevie Wonder. A Stevie Wonder movie would be glorious if Eddie Murphy could play him.
Yeah. I forgot about the Golden Child. The Golden Child. Oh man. And another thing about Eddie Murphy, his laugh made him funny too. That wild ass laugh he did. I was like, every movie you think about it, he did that laugh. He stopped doing it in the '90s though. He ain't doing it as much. But all his '80s movies, you go back and watch them, Jones. I was like, okay, bro, we get it. You here?
Yeah.
But yeah, and he shouldn't stuck to me. Don't do music because that shit he did with Rick James was like the laughable thing ever.
Well, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It really is, bro. It really is.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Rest in peace, Rick James, and rest in peace, Charlie Murphy.
yeah, Charlie Murphy was my nigga too. Fuck with Charlie Murphy. He's CB4. MC Gusto. You know about that, dog. We can get into that one day. Oh
That's that
man.
Chris Rock movie
Yeah, that's a Chris Rock movie.
where they were playing the rappers.
Hmm. Uh-huh. But yeah, Eddie, shout out for everything you do for the culture. You know what I'm saying? You rag a real fist bump. You know what I'm saying? You get that man that fist bump. That's good, though. That's good, though. But yeah. So, you got anything you want to add today, Miles, before we in our show today?
I'm just gonna add that for all the people out here, Christmas is coming up. Don't get robbed. So stay.
Don't get robbed.
So don't
Dude,
get
wow.
robbed. So stay honest, stay warm, staying true, and enjoy. Hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving, and hope you guys enjoyed this episode. That's all I
Yeah.
can. That's all I can ask for.
Yeah, I appreciate my man Miles right here. Came chill with me. Talk these pop topics, these little sports, video games. We broad horizons over here, but we movie buffs as well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I enjoyed our episode today. I had a good time. It's fun and relaxing. I like that. I like that. But we're gonna be back Thursday, same time, same bad channel. You know how we do it. You know. Peace. I might as well let you sprinkle a little bit of that hot fire he got for you. You know what I'm saying? That Tabasco, that crystal hot sauce. All that good
All
stuff.
right. Crystal hot sauce. I gotta use that.
Yeah, crystal hot sauce,
I
bro.
gotta
Yeah,
use
we
that.
gonna
That's
go there
new.
about that. Yeah. But until then, we out of here.